Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Michael, and today I'm going to teach you how to find shiny Pokemon using the best methods possible. Now in this video, I'm going to go over the 3 best methods to actually go about hunting and catching the shiny Pokemon. And they're going to start out with the most obvious one, and then I'll go to like the breeding one and stuff, and then I'll actually cover the most in-depth one. It's a little tricky, and I'm going to forewarn you, catching shiny Pokemon and Pokemon Sword and Shield is not easy. It's going to take some time, it's going to take some grinding. And of course, I mean, you kind of already know that because you're probably here watching the video trying to figure out why the heck you can't catch a shiny Pokemon. But I'm going to go ahead and go over that in this video. Now, starting out with method number 1, and this is the most obvious one, and it's random encounters. And what I mean by that is this. You go out into the wild and you just catch a random Pokemon, and your chances of actually catching a shiny Pokemon with a random encounter actually happens to be 1 in 4,096 or 1 in 1,365 with the shiny charm. Now I'm going to stop a minute. I want to talk about the shiny charm. The shiny charm is something that you get when you complete the Pokédex at the end of the game. You have to catch every single Pokemon and complete the actual Pokédex in the game. Once you do that, I'll pull it up on screen here. You actually go and talk to a guy, and I believe it's actually one of the game developers. Once you completed the Pokédex, and he'll congratulate it on you, or he'll congratulate you on completing the Pokédex, and he'll give you the shiny charm. And that shiny charm actually increases your odds of actually getting a shiny Pokemon. It doesn't increase it a whole lot, but it does help. So I do suggest you do all your shiny hunting after you completed the Pokédex. Now the next method I want to talk about is the Masuda Method. The Masuda Method is your breeding and your trading type of method, and it's a little tricky, so I pulled it up here. I pulled up a little article, and I'll kind of briefly describe it. It seems like it's a little tricky. It seems like it's going to take a little bit of time, to actually go about doing this, but it actually increases your chances pretty well, so I might as well cover it. But it says here, another way to get shiny Pokemon in Sword and Shield is the Masuda Method. This method revolves around breeding 2 Pokemon from different regions. It goes on to say this. It says each Pokemon captured has the region of the world the Nintendo Switch is located in, with the country found in the upper right hand corner of the info screen. To obtain a Pokemon from another region, you can trade with someone via link trade, but it's much easier using the surprise trade function. So again, it seems pretty tricky, but you're gonna have to find somebody in a whole nother region from you, and you're gonna have to trade Pokemon with them. And once you do that, it says here, once you leave 2 compatible Pokemon from different regions, there's a chance that Pokemon will hatch as a shiny. The rate for a Masuda shiny Pokemon is 1 in 682.7 and 1 in 512 with the shiny charm. So that goes from, what did I say, 1 in 4,096 to 1,000, or 1 in 682.7, 1 in 683 really. So that really increases your odds a lot, but you have to go about trading, and then you have to breed it and all that kind of stuff. So really, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't put in the time yet to see exactly which one's going to give you the best result, but from the research I've done, this does not give you the best result in terms of time consumption, because of the fact that you have to trade and then you have to breed it and all that other kind of stuff. So again, I really wouldn't focus too much on this method. My opinions may change. If you think that this is the faster method, let me know down in the comments below. Now, this last method to actually go about catching and finding shiny Pokemon in Sword and Shield is very confusing, very tricky. I've already recorded this like 3 times trying to describe it, and I keep messing up every time because it's that confusing. But again, I had to do a lot of research, and I'm going to go through this slowly so I can help you guys better understand this, because when you first look at this graph I'm about to show you, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All you're seeing is a bunch of numbers, and you're sitting there like scratching your head like, what in the world is this guy talking about? Trust me, it makes sense. I promise you, I figured it out. It makes sense. This graph, it shows you the percentages and everything that you need that was data mined in the game, that kind of tells you the percentages and the chances that you get to get a shiny Pokemon in the game. And it's got, in my head, it's got 3 parts to it, okay? And so those 3 parts being the chain count, the number of Pokemon that you have encountered, and the chance of a reroll. And I'm going to go over those three here, and I'm going to start out with the chaining. And the reason why I'm going to go with the chaining is because it's very similar to how you chain Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you go out and you chain, say, 30 Chansey. You go out and you catch 30 Chansey in a row. That drastically increases your chances to find a shiny Chansey. So the same concept applies here. If you go out and you chain, it says up to here 25 is where it maxes out. If you go out and chain 25 Zigzagoons, your chances to get a shiny Zigzagoon goes up drastically. Okay, so that same concept applies there, and that shows that top column if you're looking at the graph now. Now I'm going to describe the actual number of Pokemon encountered, which is on the left side. It's that left column. It goes all the way down the bottom. It shows 1, 20, 50, 100, 200, 300, and 500. And what it actually talks about there is the number of Pokemon that you have encountered throughout the entire game. And what I mean by that is I'm going to talk about, say, let's use, for instance, Zigzagoon again. Say you've knocked out, or if you've encountered 100 Zigzagoon, and it'll actually tell you in the game, when you look up your Zigzagoon or whatever, it'll actually tell you how many of those that you have encountered so far, and it'll say something like 100, 200, whatever. However many you encounter, it gives you an increased chance at catching a shiny Zigzagoon. So you want to encounter as many as possible. So I would go out and encounter 500 plus if you can to max this thing out, which is going to take a lot of time, but again, it's something that you'll need to do if you're really serious about shiny hunting. Okay, and now the third part, and this is a very confusing part as well, and this actually has to do with all the percentages and kind of combines the two together, and it happens to do with re-rolls. And so if you think of re-rolls like this, think of it like a slot machine. Okay, so for instance, you put $1 into a slot machine and you roll it one time. Well, the chances, and what this talks about here, is the chance of you getting another free reroll. So for instance, you put $1 in the machine, you get a 3% chance to actually roll it again. And so you'll hit the thing, it rolls, hey, you get a free reroll. You hit that 3% chance, and it'll roll it again and give you another shot at getting, you know, your prize. Well, the same concept applies here. And so now that you understand those three, let's put them together. So for instance, let's take the Zigzagoon for example, and let's say we've encountered 157 Zigzagoons. So we're going to go all the way down to the 100 number on the left side, that column, and say we've chained 15 or 16 Zigzagoons. So we're going to go from 100, then we're going to scoot all the way over to where it says chance with chain count 15 to 25. And if you look there, it says 15%. And what that means is you get a 15% chance at a reroll with that encounter. Okay, and so if you slide all the way over to 33%, that is with 25 chain count. And now if you've maxed out that 25 chain count, 100 encounters gives you a 33% chance at a reroll. And that brings, without the shiny charm, it brings your chances of getting that Zigzagoon in a 1 to 1024 or a 1 in 682.6667 with the shiny charm. I hope that makes a lot of sense. It took me a lot of time to actually understand what I'm talking about, because it is very, very confusing. But that is basically the gist in terms of describing this graph and how it actually works in the game. Now keep in mind, there's still a few things I need to talk to you about, so don't click off the video just yet. Another thing I want to talk about, this is still new stuff. Everybody's still trying to do a lot of research and figure out exactly what will break your chains and what will actually break these chances and make it go back to, you know, you're just a normal encounter and stuff like that. So for instance, in your chaining in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you had to make sure that you encountered those 25 Chansey or 25 Pikachu or whatever in a row. Make sure that you catch those in a row. We don't know if, for instance, if you accidentally bump into another Pokemon, does that ruin your streak? We don't know that yet. For instance, if you leave and go to another place on the map and then come back, does that ruin your streak? We don't know. So the most surefire way for you to make sure that you don't end your chain count and to make sure you're getting the most maximum you know, use out of this graph as possible is make sure that you're staying in the same spot and you're only encountering the Pokemon that you want to get shiny, and make sure that you're knocking them out. Make sure that they don't flee, because we don't know if that also breaks it or not. There's still a lot of unknowns, and I'll make an updated video on that once it actually comes out. But again, this is all the information that you'll need. Just play it safe. I mean, like I said, go ahead, play all the way to the end of the game, catch all the Pokemon, fill your Pokédex, then get the shiny charm, and then start shiny hunting. Hopefully by you doing all that, there'll be some more info out on it. But as of right now, this is the info that we have via the data mining of the game. Another thing I want to mention before I end the video as well, your starter Pokemon are shiny locked, so don't try to reset the game and find shiny Pokemon right off the bat. It's not possible. They're shiny locked, so don't do it. I know people are going to go out there and they're going to try it. They're going to sit there and do complete resets on their game trying to find that shiny Pokemon right off the bat. It's not possible. But guys, if this video was helpful, which I sure hope it was, because man, it took a lot of research for me. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. But guys, I'm peacing out for now. Have a great day, great night, wherever you are. Until next time, peace out.